All right, guys, here we are. We are live, and it is time for the recap for week 13. Now, it was an interesting week. It was a roller coaster of emotion in my matchup with Tony. My guys kind of shit the bed most of the game, and well, I thought it was over. I texted Tony a congratulations and wished him luck in the playoffs. Well, it would appear Saquon Barkley had other plans. Saquon Barkley with 42.2 points, uh, 302 total yards, and two TDs leads me to the victory over Tony Jr. And you can't help but feel bad for Tony, who snatches defeat from the jaws of victory, winds up getting beat by his much better at fantasy little brother. I mean, that sucks, man. I don't know what to tell you. Now you're on the outside looking in. Maybe you make the playoffs, but probably not, But hey, at least you got a great schedule at Brees Hall for the rest of the season. Turns out if you wouldn't have made that trade, you would have won by a mile. So, I mean, maybe you should go back to your no trade philosophy. It seemed to do fine for you before, but yeah, I think I got you on that one. So basically, the story of my matchup was Saquon Barkley just destroying, absolutely crushing the Rams. Two 70 plus yard touchdown runs. Just a mega huge game for Saquon Barkley. Even if you remove those two 70 plus yard touchdown runs, he had over 150 other yards. Insanity. Absolute insanity. So, yeah, I get the win. Saquon would really not want to face him coming down the stretch. If I get to the championship, he's playing the Cowboys week 17. You might as well just hand me the title. It's over if I make it there. Now, Jason beats Trey, and behind a huge effort from Pat Mahomes. Mahomes with 29 fantasy points. Trey, none of his guys really did much of anything. Kenneth Walker looks like a freaking bust. Nico Collins did well. I mean, he did pretty good, but not good enough, obviously. Time to start panicking about Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson kind of sucks. He got clamped up by Jalen Johnson. Roma Dunze is not even rosterable. You can go ahead and cut him loose. There's better options in free agency. Derrick Henry continues to dominate. Achan's a monster. Tony Pollard's getting hot down the stretch with some easy matchups. Kind of hoping Jason doesn't make it, honestly, because he's going to be really tough to beat if he makes it to the playoffs. So, congratulations, Jason, on your bye week. Now, Jared with the other bye week wins with 82 points. Honestly, Jared ought to be ashamed of himself. But, the truth is he largely is. So I can't hammer that point home too much. Marvin Harrison Jr. no longer a must start at this point. Had a pretty easy matchup against Seattle and shit the bed. He scored less than 5 fantasy points in 6 games this season. So over half the games he's played, he's scored less than 5. Dude, I don't know if I can play that guy moving forward. Even in easy matchups, he's no slam dunk to get it done. On the positive side of things, Amir Abdullah, great stream, got in the end zone, 12 and a half points, great stream. There's nothing left to say about Paul's team. His season's over. He's obviously quit on the season, which is extremely disappointing. Had high hopes for Paul, but he's given up, which is what losers do. Paul is a fantasy football loser, and he's going to keep losing. That's what's going on. Talked a lot of shit. A lot of shit. You would like to see somebody that talked that much shit at least stick around till the end. But obviously, that's not happening. Didn't even set his lineup this week. What are you going to do? So there you go. Paul is essentially fucking up the league by being a complete bye week for everybody that plays him. And if you only got to play Paul once this season, sorry, that sucks. What are you going to do? So now we got Kevin just laying it down on Steve. The biggest victory of the week, just a total smackdown. 51-point differential here. You look at Steve's team, the biggest bright spot is Bo Nix. Bo Nix has been fantastic lately, one of the best quarterbacks in football for the last month or so. Christian Watson, not ownable, not even ownable, can't catch the football. I get it. Sometimes he has big games, but he's MVS 2.0. He's not a guy you can plug into your lineup. Jawan Jennings looks like he's going to fall on his face down the stretch. Zay Flowers is meh. Joe Mixon, the Cinderella story's over. He sucks balls. We all know it. On Kevin's side of things, he's coming on strong, man. Jordan Addison with a mega huge game. Cortland Sutton. What else can we say about Daniels to McLaurin? One of the best stacks in fantasy this season. It's too bad Kevin lost some tight ones earlier this year because he'd be a serious contender if not. But the truth is his season's essentially over. He's not going to make the playoffs. It is what it is, guys. Now, Senior, another 50-point victory here, edging out Joe barely by 50. Lamar continues to be in the discussion for fantasy and real life MVP. Josh Jacobs with a huge game, just bowling over the Niners. He's coming on strong. AJ Brown with a super easy schedule down the stretch. I expect AJ Brown to keep balling. The bright side about facing Senior going forward is, other than AJ Brown, his wide receivers are an absolute tire fire. Jaden Reed, I don't know how you can feel good about plugging him into your lineup. He hasn't done anything in forever. His best game of the last 7 was 11 fantasy points, and it was the only time he's gone over 10. I don't know. Jaden Reed's not a must play. He's not. He's a matchup play at best. Jameson Williams, again, matchup play at best. So Tank Dell, he sucks now that Nico Collins is back, and Xavier Worthy is not rosterable, as I've been saying since about week 3. Seniors wasted a roster spot on Xavier Worthy all season long. Don't know why. Continues to do it. That's fine. It's honestly kind of comical because he'll make fun of Steve about wasting roster spots, and then he'll hang on to a turd like Xavier Worthy. But really, the story of the matchup here is just Joe being horrendous. 21.9 out of Jahmyr Gibbs, and you still didn't even get to 75 points. What the hell? What is going on here? Deebo Samuel, yikes, brutal. Mike Evans does not look healthy. Don't know if he'll be healthy the rest of the season. The good news for Joe is Jonnu Smith looks like a league winner at tight end, but not for Joe, because Joe is definitely not making the playoffs. And the way it looks right now, Joe's probably going to be GD, depending on who we bring back and who we don't. So sorry, Joe. That's the way the cookie crumbles. One more positive for Senior is when George Kittle plays, he is just dominating the tight end position in fantasy. Pretty much had at least 9 points in every game he's been healthy since week 1. George Kittle, just a matchup nightmare, and he's a problem. And don't know that there's a solution to that problem, except maybe, just maybe, the guy Steve cut, T.J. Hawkinson. So we'll see who does better down the stretch, Kittle or Hawk. Steve cut Hawk, so that means he's going to be a league winner. We all know that. So there you go, guys. There's your matchup recap, and I will see you guys on Thursday for a special Turkey Day edition of the matchup preview, where I will be good and lit for it. So see you then.